Good morning, Magic. I'm Gavin Verhey from Wizards of the Coast, and today I've got this Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate pre-release pack. We're going to bust it open, I'm going to show you what's inside, and we're going to talk about the pre-release experience a little bit and how to build a deck. Notably, you might have done a pre-release before, or maybe you haven't, but either way, it's a little bit different this time around for this set, and I'll walk you through exactly what you can expect at your local game store. Let's crack this thing open. So first of all, there's this pull tab on this thing. Let's pull it out just like this, boom. And pull off this outer layer here, revealing this little box inside. It's got this little Dungeons and Dragons insignia right here. You can pop that out if you want, see what's behind it. We're gonna go right into the goods and pull out this right here, this box. Now note, kind of like the Commander pre-release, if you check that out, there are little counters in here, which are pretty cool. These are D&D plus Magic logoed, which are neat. You can use these for +1/+1 counters, or even goad counters is what we use them for sometimes. So all kinds of options. You can punch these things out if you'd like. Put that on one side, and then this on the other side. Different artwork, or different color rather. So get some extra bonus stuff inside of your pre-release pack, which is nice. Make use of all that cardboard. Now, speaking of making use of a cardboard, here's what you'll get inside. You get this little box, you crack it open, got the expansion symbol right here on the 20. Notably though, you will notice this is a little different than the normal pre-release die. This is a not spin down dice. Now normally you'd expect in your pre-release kit to get a die that takes you down slowly from 20 to 1. But here, because of the dice rolling, this is more of a true D20, so that's a nice, neat little Dungeons and Dragons twist on what you can expect here. What do we roll? Let's find out. A natural 20! I am just that good. That was, seriously, one take. That's amazing. I impress myself sometimes. Okay, what else do we get inside of here? So a couple things in here. First of all, you get this card, which you can redeem on Arena for packs of Baldur's Gate alchemy cards. So I get some packs of that. Redeem the code on the other side of this. You also get this little insert that talks about drafting Commander on this side. A bunch of tips of how to do it. I'm going to walk you through a lot of what is on here today, but kind of walk you through the draft process, which is really, really nice. How you can add Faceless One to your deck, about how many creatures and spells you want and what you're looking for, how many lands you're playing, and notably about 25 lands here, because we're building a 60-card deck, not a 40-card deck, but a 60-card deck. I'll walk through that, like I said, in a little bit. But here's what that insert looks like on that side. And then on this side, it's a nice little in-world note about Baldur's Gate. So I think that's pretty cool. I love these in-world touches that we do. So it talks about the upper city, the lower city, the outer city. Just because something you can frame and put on your wall, drop on your fridge, whatever you want to do. So there's that. You get this little divider for your box. Little cool, once again, the D&D plus Magic logo. I think it's pretty cool. You get this thing, which is going to have some special stuff in here. Check out, by the way, this cool packaging. It's a little bit different than what you're used to. And inside, you're going to get the Undercity Dungeon, which you're going to want when you play, because you will almost certainly end up in the Undercity in your game, as well as your pre-release card. So here is what I got. Babala Saga, the Night Witch, with that pre-release stamp right there. That's pretty cool. Now, the next thing that's going to come is what you might not expect. There are 3 booster packs inside. Now, why 3 packs? Why not 6 packs? Normally you get 6 packs when you play in a pre-release because it's sealed deck. Well, that's because for Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate, you are drafting. We really felt like the best experience for this product was booster draft. And so that's how the pre-releases are going to be run. In your local game store, you go on in, you'll sit down at a table of 8 people, and you will crack open one of these packs. You'll have them in a face-down stack in front of you. Let me clear the table a little bit. You'll have them in a face-down stack in front of you, like this. You'll crack one of your packs open. It's 20 cards. Now, you're not going to crack them all open, just the first one. And now you're going to have this whole pack, and you're going to take a look through it. Here's our pack right here. And you're going to select 2 of the cards from this booster pack to take for your card pool. You could maybe eventually build in your deck. Now, you can take this token at the very back out. This is yours to keep. But everything else will stay right here. So you kind of want to look through and identify which cards grab your attention. Maybe it's a particularly powerful card. Maybe you want a big creature. Here's a Ghastly Death Tyrant. Or maybe if you want some removal spells, like Psychic Impetus is kind of a removal spell. They can't attack you with their creature anymore. Maybe you want a flyer. Flyers are very good because they help get damage through. So this is a 5-mana 3/3 flyer that can deal some more damage on your turn. Evasion is very important. I'll talk about that in a little second here. Or maybe you want to just slam some legends. Maybe you're just like, well, think I want to play green. I'm going to grab Scannos Dragonheart. This card looks really cool. Or hey, I got Airness Gloomstalker. I'll grab this. That's pretty awesome. You grab this background. Or of course, nothing wrong with, not bad. Nothing wrong with grabbing the rare. In this case, I would definitely take this rare. Great thing about colorless cards in draft is they will always make your deck if they're good enough. Blade of Selves is a card you will always play, so I'll definitely just slam that. I can tell you right now it's going to be one of my 2 cards. So, I'm going to take this Blade of Selves, and then maybe I might take this Vrock. None of these legends, I mean, I think you could totally take one of these legends and be fine with it, but I'm going to grab, let's just say I grab Blade of Selves and Vrock. What I do is I take these cards, I'm going to face down, I don't show the new one, but I'm going to face down pile in front of me. I take all these cards, you grab them, and then you pass them to the left, to the player on your left. Then the player to your right is also going to be passing you a stack of cards, just like this one right here. And then each player will pick up the next stack of cards. The player to your left, imagine this is them, we'll pick this up, and then you'll pick up the cards that someone passed to you, and you'll grab 2 more cards, and you'll keep going until the entire pack is done. Then you're going to open up the second pack, look through all the cards, same kind of deal, select 2 cards again, pass to the right this time, same exact process, and with the last pack, it's back to the left. At the end of the process, you will have a pool of 60 cards you're going to build with. Now, your deck's going to want to play about 25 lands, which means you're going to play about 35 or so of these cards that you've taken. There's some things you really want to watch out for, especially in Commander Draft. Evasion. Anything that gets through is a really big deal. As we know, in Commander boards can get huge and stalled and stuck, so stuff like flying or unblockable, keep an eye out for those kinds of abilities. Bombs, of course, are great if you get anything really powerful like a Blade of Selves. You also want removal. So if Psychic Impetus is kind of removal, it forces their creature to attack another player each turn, and it's not attacking you, so that kind of works pretty nicely. But also just anything that will, removes creatures like this run away together could even be kind of a removal spell, or if you find like a murder or something like that, that'll get the job done. One thing to be thinking about as you're drafting are synergy cards. We build in all these draft archetypes to our set. In fact, if you give me just a second here, boom, just like that, here it is. Here are all the different draft archetypes. Almost every 2-color pairing has a different theme. Blue-white Blink, blue-black Initiative, black-red Treasures and Sacrifice, red-green Dragons, green-white Tokens, white-black Aristocrats, which is like a sacrificey creature deck, blue-red Dragons, black-green Graveyards, and red-white Myriad. So this will kind of tell you what's going on. So for example, let's say, looking at this black-green Graveyard deck, I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Well, this card over here, this Legend, and Inaris, is going to be a lot better in a graveyard deck because you can get lands into your graveyard really easily to keep bringing back with him. So that's the kind of thing you want to look for, is what are the synergies that path me into archetypes. Looking through these cards, like this Vrock is really good in this leaves the battlefield archetype. It's aristocrat style deck. We're making stuff leave the battlefield every turn. This Warehouse Thief is going to be strong in the sacrifice deck or a treasure deck because you have plenty of ammo to sacrifice to it. So you want to keep an eye out for those combinations, and when you settle into your 2 colors eventually, try and know what your archetype is so you can kind of figure out what you will want to be grabbing of that archetype. So if I would say blue-black, I'd look for all the initiative cards and want to take lots of things that let me get the initiative and can attack to steal it from my opponents. Of course, you want to have big creatures, and then the other big thing in Commander Draft is your legends. You don't have to commit right away. You can, if you want to be really careful, you could just slam 2 of these right away. But there's nothing wrong with taking some time to find them. You will almost always find a legend. It almost never happens that you don't find legends in the draft that you want to play with, especially by the 3rd pack. Once players can't play, we'll be looping the table. So don't feel like you have to commit early, but if you see something you really like, if you're like, man, I really want to play a graveyard deck, I'm going to grab this. Aranus? There we go. Or maybe you want to play dragons really bad, so you grab this Scannos. Or maybe you just want to be a Master Chef. You grab this Master Chef. You can do that. And keep in mind, because you can grab 2 at a time. In this format, you draft 2 cards at a time. Not in this pack, because our 3 legends are all the same color. But you could grab 2 of 2 different colors and take them. A big mechanic in this set is, of course, background and choose a background, which allows you to play 2 cards as your commander, 1 choose a background creature, and 1 legendary enchantment background. So keep in mind how those can combine together as well, and the cool combinations you can find between all of them. Now, if for any reason you fail and you do not get a legend, fret not, because there's always Faceless One. This little guy right here you can grab if you need to. It's always available, even if you don't draft it, to use as your commander. It can be whatever color you want. And if for some reason you really fail and don't draft any commanders for your deck, you can even use 2 Faceless Ones, although I would, hopefully that doesn't happen to you. It's very uncommon this will occur. I think in our playtest, it basically never happened, but it's good to have just a fail-safe so that we can answer the question, what happens if you don't draft it? But you almost always will. It does not happen. It does not happen very often. So what's going to happen is you're going to build a 60-card deck of it all, like I said, 25 lands, about 35 of your favorite spells, and I'm going to show you an example of what exactly that looks like. Take it away, Gavin. Okay, now here is a sample deck that I have built of what a deck could look like for Commander Legends. So imagine you finished drafting, you had your card pool, you laid out your cards, you made some cuts. Here's the final deck. It's 35 cards exactly. So I've chosen a commander to play. In this case, I've got Tasha, the Witch Queen here. Could not resist playing Tasha as my commander. So pretty sweet to have around. Although notably, I did consider to playing, so you have options. I could have also played these two. So I'm blue-black, right? That's my color combination. And I know the blue-black is all about the initiative. So actually playing Safana could be really nice with this Candlekeep Sage to be able to draw me some cards and make me a bunch of treasure. I can't resist playing Tasha, even though it's not really on the initiative theme. But could have very easily gone this way. So that's how I've done this. So I've laid all my cards out. Now you might be wondering, how are my cards laid out this way? Why are they laid out this way? Well, I just put my commander down here, so I was out of the way, but kind of down here beneath my deck. But other than that, I lay out cards on top if these are cards I'm going to be playing on that turn. So, and I do it at the first turn I might want to play them. So, for example, this Wayfarer's Bauble, actually that's a bad example. Let's take a look at something different. Let's take a look at Irenicus's Vile. So let's take a look at this Thieves' Tools. Now, Thieves' Tools is not a creature. Traditionally, a lot of folks will build out their curve so they've got, creatures up here and non-creature down here. But Thieves' Tools is still a card you're happy to cast on turn 2. Therefore, I've got it down here in the 2-drop slot. Similarly, you might be wondering how you do Adventures. Well, I generally put Adventures down at the first time you'll cast them too, because this card I will happily cast on the second turn, get the value out of the adventure, and then later on in the game, be able to cast this dragon. And so I'm not going to load this up on the 5-drop spot. I'm treating it more as a 2-drop that then someday I might get a 5-drop out of. Keep them in mind, of course, as you're building your curve and deck that you got them in there. But I think it's more generally helpful to set them over here. You'll note, though, that down here, I've got Sword Coast Serpent, another adventure. Why is this on the bottom? Well, this is on the bottom because I'm probably not going to be doing this on turn 2. I'll definitely do the Scry 1 draw card on turn 2, but Bounce a Creature, I'm probably going to wait on that one till later. So that's down here in my spell row. These are cards that I'm not necessarily going to cast on that turn. You could make an argument that maybe Atrocious Experiment could go up here, or maybe the Swiftfoot Boots could go up here. But in general, a lot of these cards down here I'm not going to be playing on that exact turn. And I'm sorry about the glare right here on my 4-drops. We know that I've kind of got a decent curve of a lot of cards that cost 2 and 3, some cards that cost 4 and 5. Keep in mind with Adventures in this set too, right? I've got some extra 4 and 5 drops hanging out over here. And then in Commander, you do want some big hitters. So I've got, this Death Tyrant here and this Oceanus Dragon as big hitters to finish out the game. Also worth noting is you should keep your Commander's mana cost in mind. Tasha is going to mean I always have a 5-drop every single game. And when she dies, as your sick Planeswalker commanders want to do, you want to be able to recast her for 7 mana. So you will always kind of have this big mana outlet for you to do with her. If I was playing a Safana, for example, and Candlekeep Sage as my commanders, well, 2 things. First of all, it means that my 3 and 4-drop spots are pretty loaded, because every game I will probably want to play, well, at least this on turn 3, and maybe I want to do this on turn 3 and do this on turn 3, right? So the other thing is, as I'm choosing my story and background, or I choose background and background characters, there's a good chance that I'll want to pick ones that curve into each other a little bit better if I have access to them. The fact these are both 3-drops is actually kind of a bummer, because it means that, I have to pick one to play on turn 3, and if next turn I play this, I'm playing off curve and losing a mana off of it, as opposed to if I had a slightly stronger 4-mana background. So keep that in mind as you're building your deck here. You'll note that I've got a lot of flying, which is really nice. I've got the Oceanus Dragon, I've got Juvenile Mist Dragon, I've got this Moonshade Pixie, a lot of flying and a lot of evasion, which is important because, as I was talking about earlier, blue-black is about dungeons. And we've got cards that want you to have the initiative. First of all, the cards that let you take the initiative, like the Underdark Explorer here. But there are also cards that really do care about it, like the Feywild Caretaker. If you have it at the end of your turn, you make a 1/1 token. Or maybe you have this Passageways Seer, where if you have it at the end of your turn, it gets a +1/+1 counter. So you'll want to find those little synergies in your color pair as you're playing them. Because it's Commander, and if you've played Commander before, you probably know this, mana ramp is important. So I'm playing the mana ramp, I do have access to this Charcoal Diamond and this Wayfarer's Bauble, both pretty important. And I'd happily play, more diamonds or baubles if I had them, or Arcane Signet or what have you. Fortunately, I've got these 2 Thieves tools. Now I want to call out these 2 Thieves tools and the 2 Young Blue Dragons as something important. You can play multiples. Now you might not be used to in Commander only playing 1 copy of everything, and because the set is so huge, you're not going to end up with a lot of multiples, but you can get multiples here. In draft, you can always play any number of cards that you've drafted. So if you go and draft Streets of New Capenna right now, and you draft 10 copies of a card, well, you can play all 10 of them. And the same is true here in Commander Draft. If you draft multiple copies of a card, you can play them all. That's kind of a look at deck building. Once you want your creature curve, you have your spells down here. I'm playing a handful of lands. Of course, I want my mana fixing lands. So I've got this Morphic Pool, this Command Tower, this Black Dragon Gate. And because I've got this gate right here, I'm going to play this other Basilisk Gate as well. But once you start playing your game, once you've built your deck, you sit down and you play, you're just playing Commander. 40 life, all the normal rules you would expect. Your deck must obey the color identity rule, so if I'm playing Tasha as my commander, I have to play a blue-black deck. But yeah, the game is just Commander as you know it from here. And that's a look at how you would build a deck for this format. Now, every deck's going to look very different, of course, and during the draft process, you'll pick a lot of cards. But that is the bare bones of how to build a deck and what I'm looking for as I'm building a deck. So now it's time for you to go out. Enjoy your pre-release. Go to your local game store, call it up, see if they've got spaces available, sign up now, and you might be surprised how much fun this Commander Draft format can be. I know a lot of folks didn't get to play it the first time around with Commander Legends 1, so go out, give it a try, have a blast. I really, really enjoy it. If you have any questions about this deck build process or what's inside the pre-release pack, let me know in the comments down below. And otherwise, I will talk with you again very soon. In the meantime, may you have a lot of fun hanging out when Commander Legends battle for Baldur's Gate. You got this.